How to help your business save money on sending with Australia Post and Motel Sheepskin Factory. 1. Set up your MyPost business account. 2. Use it to send at least 8 parcels over 8 weeks. 3. Put your feet up. 4. We'll add your savings rate to your account. Saving on sending. It's another way we're delivering for Australia at Australia Post. How to help your business save time on sending with Australia Post and Artisanal Chocolate. 1. Export all the orders from your online shop. 2. Upload them to your MyPost business sending account. 3. Have a treat. 4. Print all your labels in one go and get those parcels processed. Saving time on sending. It's another way we're delivering for Australia at Australia Post.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning on this Thursday, the 27th of May, 2021. I know many of us here in Victoria keenly awaiting the news conference from the state government whether we were going to another lockdown or not. We'll certainly find out during the course of this webinar. But first, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on this series of webinars. My name's Nick Antonopoulos. I'm the General Manager of Business here at Australia Post that's responsible for the small to medium business market. I'm thrilled to be hosting today's webinar. It's the next instalment in a series designed to support Australia's small to medium businesses. Firstly, before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we operate, live and gather, and recognise the continuing connection to the land, water and community. We pay respect to elders past, present and emerging. If this is the first time you've been involved in a On24 webinar, or if you need a refresher, I'm going to quickly run through a couple of widgets to help you get the best out of this webinar. During our panel discussion, we'll give you the opportunity to ask our panelists some questions of your own. So you submit these via the Q&A widget. So write down any questions you may have and it'll be a pleasure to ask them. The windows on your screen are also configurable. So if you want to make windows larger or smaller, please feel free to do so. We'll also have a feedback survey, which is the second last widget on your console at the end of the session. If you would take 30 seconds to complete, it will be greatly appreciated. As always, I'm asked, are these webinars available for us to look later? Yes, they are. Sort of on-demand version of the webcast will be available within 24 hours and can be accessed using the same audience link that we sent you earlier. You'll receive an email once the on-demand version is available. Okay, so let's get started. Almost 9 million Australian households shopped online last year, contributing a year-on-year growth in e-commerce of 57%. Even as we work our way through 2021, e-commerce continues to maintain momentum, with 5 million households consistently buying online each month, 1.1 million more than the average for 2020. More people are buying online than ever before, but shopping expectations have shifted, and the delivery experience is increasing, becoming the defining element of the online retail experience, making it critical that retailers get it right. I'll soon be handing over to my colleague, Silvio Giorgio, our General Manager of Data Science, who will be taking you through a new report we will be launching on Monday titled The Delivery Experience, Getting It Right, Why It Matters, and How Data Can Help you and your business. We're very excited about this new report as it's a great opportunity for us to share what we've learned from the millions of customer interactions we have every day and what we know about them, where and how people want to receive their parcels to help you improve the delivery experience and, more importantly, drive loyalty to your business. We're incredibly proud to be your partner, your delivery partner, support you to reach your customers no matter where they are based. So it's important I mention that getting the delivery experience right and drawing on data to improve it is our priority also. So although Silvia will take you through some simple adjustments you can make to improve first-time delivery rates, lift customer NPS, and reduce complaints, we recognise and understand the important role Australia Post has to play in enabling this. That is why we continue to invest in our parcel processing infrastructure, tracking, scanning capabilities, and improving delivery predictions and customer notifications. So, later in today's webinar, Silvio will be joined by a panel of retailers, some online customers who will talk to us about how they design their delivery experience and the different techniques and strategies they use to ensure their customers not only have a great experience, but they continue to buy from them. Now, my pleasure, as I said, to hand over to Silvio, who give us an overview of the delivery experience report, the insights, and the actionable recommendations they have informed. Silvio, it's a pleasure to have you. Over to you, please.
Thanks, Nick. Hello, everybody. It's great to be with you here today. Sorry, excuse me. We at Australia Post are looking to work more closely with you to improve the delivery experience, because quite frankly, it matters. We all know what it feels like to have a bad customer experience. If I'm new to your business, I'm unlikely to come back. If I'm loyal to your business, it'll only take so long until my eyes start to wander. And our expectations of what good looks like are only increasing as consumers. Yes, e-commerce grew, as Nick mentioned, by about 57% last year, mostly driven by COVID. But actually the key thing that we're paying attention to is that Australia still lags behind many other countries in online shopping penetration. With that accelerated growth and the potential growth to come, it seems clear that more people are going to be shopping online more often. So getting the delivery experience right matters. It matters to your customers, it matters to you, and as the delivery partner for so many online retailers, it matters to us at Australia Post. Now, our data shows that the delivery experience matters, but more importantly, it actually tells us where we can start to take action and focus our attention. We've invested significantly in data and data intelligence, and we use that to identify patterns in the things that are primarily impacting the delivery experience. And we've since worked with retailers to take action based on the insights that we've discovered. We're drawing from over 400 million parcel deliveries a year and the millions of customer interactions that facilitates. Our first delivery experience report shares what we have learned about when, where, and how people want to receive their deliveries. We share what actions we are taking at Australia Post based on these insights, and we make some pretty simple recommendations on what you as retailers can do to help us lift the delivery experience. Now, the insight from the data has led us in the report to 5 simple recommendations. 1, reduce signature on delivery and offer more collection points. 2, provide delivery information from checkout to delivery. 3, capture and share customer contact details with us up front. 4, improve address accuracy and label quality. And 5, use best fit packaging. And we use the data to quantify the impact of these recommendations on things like first-time delivery, customer delivery net promoter scores, and contacts to our call centre. I'll touch on 3 of these recommendations today, but first I'd like your perspective. So a bit of a poll, if you will, we're going to make, but I want you to take your business hat off and I want you to put your online shopper hat on. So here's the question. As a consumer, how important is it to get your parcel delivered to your door first time? That means not receiving a card in your letterbox. We're going to rank this 1 to 5, with 1 being not important at all. There are other things more important in the delivery experience. Or 5, it's extremely important. First-time delivery is the most important thing in the delivery experience. If you can make your selections now, you should be able to do that on your screen, and we'll see what the results that are coming in. See how we're going. Oh, we've got some responses coming through. Right, yeah. About 20% of responses. It's looking... I'll be sharing these with you in a moment. Nick, what do you think?
Having just experienced this matter yesterday, now I'm annoyed that I have to go down the street to pick it up at the local post office. So, Silvio, for me, critical.
Critical, eh? Let's see what our responses are coming in at. Just give a few more seconds for everyone to respond. We've got over 50% of responses. Fantastic. All right, I'm gonna switch over. And it seems that actually many of you think that it is also extremely important, with over 55% of you saying that it is the most important thing. Ranking 4s and 5s, you're up at about 80, 90% up there. So it seems that people online here are thinking that it is first-time delivery is pretty important. And our data shows actually that getting a parcel delivered to your door first time does matter as well. Now, we at Australia Post have the advantage of sending your parcel locally to a post office. Everyone's experienced receiving one of those cards that you get at your door to send you to a local post office. But our preference absolutely is getting the parcel delivered first time to your door. And the number one impact on first-time delivery is whether the parcel requires a signature or not. Parcels with a signature are 10 times more likely to be carded to a local post office. And the simple act of removing signature can actually reduce that incidence of carding or receiving one of those cards by about 89%. So we recommend reducing signature on delivery. And you might want to start with low-value items. Nick, you know that during the last lockdown, I moved house, and we moved from an apartment to a house. At an apartment, we were carded all the time, kind of got used to it. There wasn't really anywhere safe to leave parcels. And so that was something that was a fact of life that we had gotten used to. But now at the place that we've moved to, there is a place that you can leave parcels safely. And we have noticed our first-time delivery expectations shift. My wife and I do pay attention to what parcels require a signature. A few weeks ago, I ordered some light bulbs, and those required a signature, which I thought was odd. My wife, who knows that I work for Australia Post, often gets upset at me when she orders samples that aren't, very expensive, that require a signature. I do have to remind her that it is the online retailer that is requesting signature. But it is something that we have paid a lot of attention to, so you might want to start with low-value items. The inconvenience of being carded seems to be outweighing the perceived security that the signature provides. Now, if it is difficult to get it to your door, sorry, I'm just going to go back. If it is difficult to get it to your door, offering customers alternative collection points does matter as well. As I said, when we lived in an apartment, we got carded all the time. Apartment deliveries are the most difficult for us, but it's a lot harder if the parcel requires a signature. Deliveries to apartments, 30% of deliveries to apartments that require a signature end up being carded to a local post office. It's pretty significant. Now, if a customer chooses an alternative collection point, their delivery net promoter score almost doubles, and they pick up the parcel faster than if we had carded them there. Just 45% of customers will pick up a parcel within 1 day when they are carded to a post office. The actual average is about 2.5 days. If we card them to 1 day, we'll take about 2.5 days to pick it up. But if they choose that post office as the delivery destination, they will pick it up within a day on average. And they have a much higher net promoter score than if we had carded them there. So we do recommend offering alternative collection points at the checkout. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. To our collection points API or the web-based widget, or you can help us promote the Australia Post app, especially to customers that live in apartments. App users are frequently having parcels delivered to alternative collection points. And so giving customers the choice of alternative collection points does matter as well. A big question that we get from retailers when we do ask them to reduce signature is, do parcels arrive safely without a signature? And the answer is yes. We've analysed a bunch of retailers who drop signature on large volumes of their deliveries. and found that on average, carding dropped by about 45%, NPS rose by about 2 points, or not promoter scores, delivery net promoter scores rose by about 2 points, with no real impact to failed deliveries. We're talking about one more failed delivery for every 100,000. And you can notice on the top 4 retailers by volume that we analysed, actually they experienced a reduction in failed deliveries, or what we call lost in transit. So it seems that Signature is acting like a bit of a security blanket. The data really shows no real upside in security, but a big downside in customer experience. So we recommend you reduce Signature on delivery and offer more collection points. The second point that I'll touch on, or second recommendation that I'll touch on today, is capturing and sharing customer contact details with us up front. Customers call us if they feel that there is a problem. We don't get a lot of calls if things are going well. We conducted extensive research analysing millions of calls to our contact centre and trying to understand why people are really calling. Most of the calls that we receive are about delayed deliveries. However, interestingly, we found that people don't tend to call if we can tell them when to expect their parcel. Even if a parcel is delayed by our own delivery standards, we see a 76% reduction in calls to our contact centre when we provide an accurate estimated delivery date range. It seems that customers will accept delays if we are certain about when they can expect to receive their delivery. Australia Post is currently operating at about 95% accuracy in our estimated delivery dates. But if we don't have contact details, there's no way that we can inform the customers when to expect their delivery. So having contact details so we can tell your customers when to expect their delivery matters. Customers also want visibility of their deliveries. They want to see that their parcel's moving. Now, we keep customers updated a couple of ways, through the Australia Post app and through notifications. Having a customer's contact details enables us to match parcels to the customer accounts, both through the app and in the web, or on the web. And it allows us to send them notifications about their deliveries. These matched customers are 70% less likely to contact us about their deliveries, and they have a much better experience. They average about 9 points higher delivery net promoter score than unmatched customers. So for us, having customer contact details to provide visibility on delivery matters. Now, it might come as no surprise to you that your past delivery experiences impact your behaviour. Now, we can quantify that through the data that we have. The more you shop online, the less likely you are to call. 53% less likely, in fact. People not familiar to online shopping are more likely to call us. Also, if you've called us before, you're about 48% more likely to call us again. My family shops quite a lot online now, and we know what to expect and don't tend to sweat it if a few deliveries are a bit late. But I do recall we weren't so confident when I was new to online shopping, or when my behaviour around online shopping started to change and I started to order larger items. The largest item I've ordered so far is a surfboard cover. It came in a box the size of a dishwasher. I do recall sweating it then around how this thing was going to get delivered to my apartment. It actually did get delivered, which is amazing. But I do recall bumping into Nick, who was the contract delivery driver, and he gave me a bit of a hard time because it took up so much of space in his van. But we digress. Providing visibility on those deliveries does matter, and it matters especially if you're new to online shopping. So sharing customer contact details means that we can provide your customers with visibility of their deliveries. Now, the last point I'll touch on, and the recommendation in the report, is improving address accuracy and label quality. Delays cause customers to contact us, as I've mentioned. If they're calling, they think that there's a problem. And whilst every year at Australia Post we are investing in more capacity and better technology and greater automation to reduce delays, there are a couple of things that online retailers can do to help us reduce delays as well. One, it's useful address validation, not just postcode validation, the whole address. The wrong address means that it takes us longer to get the parcel to your customer. And an extra day is a long time to wait if you've paid for express. Two, use high-quality printing on your labels. If our machines can't read the label, the parcels tend to spend a little longer in the network. And we see typically about 40% more calls and 4 points lower NPS for delays like this. So we recommend using full address validation at your checkout and quality label printing. Correct addresses and quality labels reduce delays, and we know from the data that delays matter to the delivery experience. So really, in summary, getting the delivery experience right does matter, and it is our priority at Australia Post. So a few things to recap on. Reducing signature will list first-time delivery to customers' doors. Offering customers choice of alternative locations will lift first-time delivery as well. Customer contact details help us set expectations to provide more visibility to your customers about their deliveries. And using full address validation and quality labels will reduce delays in our network. The Delivery Experience report will be available on Monday, and you'll be receiving a copy of the report along with the on-demand link to this webinar. Thanks for having me today, and thanks so much, Nick.
Great, Silvio. Thank you very much. Some really, really great practical ideas to improve the delivery experience, and I'm sure that if we put ourselves in the position as consumers, we can relate exactly what you're talking about. So thank you very much, Silvio. Thank you for joining us today. But now I'd like to move on to our little panel discussion. Silvio, please continue to stay with us. But now I'd like to ask two of our customers to join us. Rebecca Chan and Peta Snelson are now online. Rebecca, you're with us? Hello, Rebecca. Peta.
Hi.
Peta's with us?
Yes.
Fantastic. Welcome, Peta. And hopefully Rebecca is there somewhere hiding in the background. No, she's not. Let me introduce Rebecca first. Rebecca, and depending on the news this morning on around lockdown, I think we're going to all need a little bit of this. And that Rebecca is the founder and creative director of Artisanale Chocolate. Rebecca trained and worked as a pharmacist before launching a successful cake business on the side, which then led to her into the world of patisseries. After completing a diploma de patisserie at the renowned French Academy Le Cordon Bleu, she specialised in chocolatier as a chocolatier and launched Artisanale Chocolate in 2016. Rebecca, are you with us now? Welcome.
Hi, yes, I think it's all working.
That's good. Welcome, Rebecca. We're going to need a lot of chocolate from you in the next few days in Melbourne, so I hope you're working overtime for these extra deliveries. And Peta, let me introduce Peta, and another interesting business. Peta Snelson is the owner of Unearthed Crystals. Together with her sister, Shari, she founded Unearthed Crystals 5 years ago. As crystal lovers, they felt something was missing in the crystal world. That is a trusted place to buy ethically sourced crystals with a supportive community. So Peta and Shari decided to take matters in their own hands and launched Unearthed Crystals from their mum's attic room. They now deliver over 6,000 parcels a month from a dedicated warehouse. Welcome, Peta.
Thanks for having me.
And I can say both Rebecca and Peta are not in Melbourne, Victoria, so you'll continue to enjoy your Freedom Post today. So thank you. Rebecca, if I may, I'd like to start with you. Your business has adapted and changed a lot in the last few years. Can you tell us a bit about the move from selling pop-ups to markets to selling online? Tell us a bit of journey and about yourself and the business models you've had.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been running Artisanal Chocolate for the past 5 years now. The first 4 years, my business was primarily based around doing pop-up stores. So different locations such as markets, offices, different workplaces, shopping centres. And of course, last year, our business model was going great. So we didn't have any need for an online store. But obviously last year as COVID hit, everything changed. And so for myself, it was a very down period. I probably moped on my bed for a week before I actually did anything. But eventually, when I mustered the energy, to get back up, I consulted a few people, and I quickly realized the only way I could sell any chocolates at all was to go online. For myself, it was a very rushed, a bit of a scramble to get everything organized. It was just before our peak Easter season. And so just establishing the e-commerce website, understanding how online ads work. All this was, quite a bit of a challenge for myself. Of all things, probably the delivery side went the smoothest. I popped down to my local Australia Post branch in Winston Hills. Shout out to Lynn and her team there. They were very helpful in getting me set up to my post business and showing me the different ways I could package my item. And so something I quickly learned very early on was that a lot of our items that did sell well in person, like our Rocky Road coconut ruffs, they actually didn't sell that well online. But what did sell well were our novelty items. And so as a result, I designed a chocolate toolbox. So think hazelnut hammer, raspberry pistachio plier, and those items, really took off. And conveniently, it was just before Father's Day as well. We got to a point where we actually had to turn off the ads because even though I have a small team, we couldn't get through all the orders.
Oh, wow.
I definitely feel very fortunate to have an online business now. And whilst many of our pop-ups have opened up again and we have started attending them, we now have an additional source of revenue through our e-commerce platform. And it's definitely a very exciting time for us, trying to get our fun and exciting creations to many individuals and businesses all around Australia.
Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. And you, like so many other small businesses who did not have an online presence, were able to really pivot so quickly out of necessity. So congratulations that you've been able to do that so quickly and really did very well out of the COVID. Thank you. Now, if I turn my next to Peta for some questions. Peta, in the crystal business, and I'm sure COVID presented different challenges. So I'm keen to understand from you, what did you do different to keep that magic alive and keeping people smiling about delivering or buying or receiving a crystal?
We were very fortunate. We didn't have to change too much as we've always been online, but our online presence has always been about the customer experience. So what we did was we shifted a little bit in a way of going back to creating our community online. We have a very amazing online community that are quite engaged with us. So when Corona hit, the first wave hit and Australia went into lockdown, what we did was we started a little thing called Rona Kindness. We had to get around social media not letting us use COVID or Corona. So, Australians, we just cut it short. And we just did a few rounds of different things. So one of them was we just gave out free cookies with every order. We teamed up with another small business who made us Rona Kindness cookies. We posted jokes daily. We had a Spotify playlist that Shirai made that people could listen along with, that we listened to at work. We then had a live karaoke session with that playlist that a lot of people chimed in on because they were at home. They needed something to attend, and that's what we did. And then even on one Friday afternoon, we had a happy hour digitally, through a live video chat with some of our community then too, where we all got together at 4 p.m. and had a little drink, no matter what it was, and just chatted about the day. So we just went back to our community. We made sure our inbox was always open for chats because people weren't feeling okay about the situation. It was quite scary at the time. So we just made sure that we were available to our customers and our community alike. And we focused on that during the time. And it helped us as much as I believe it helped them.
Fantastic. Just following on from that, Peta, in your experience, how important is the delivery experience and when it comes to selling crystals online?
It's so important. So crystals are very, very personal, and we created Unearthed as consumers. So we grabbed everything we did love about things, and then we also grabbed everything that we didn't like and threw it all in the bin. So we only focused on the things that we wanted. So we created the store that we would shop from. So for us, it's important in a way where opening a package is like a gift every time. Our girls are champions at gift wrapping everything. We don't even offer a gift wrapping service because there's no need. And it's all down to the experience. So all of our stuff is like wrapped the same way. It's all beautifully done. It smells good because, you know, why not? And we only deliver via express post because at the end of the day, when someone is shopping for a crystal, they need that energy then. So we get it out as fast as possible. And it's really, really important to us to be able to do that. And in most cases, our customers have their crystals in their hands within 36 hours of placing an order.
Fantastic. And Rebecca, I guess similar question to yourself. What are your thoughts on this? Chocolates make a great gift. I know in our household they do, and unfortunately they don't last long. And when you're selling online delivery, tell us the sort of change improvements that help you deliver a better gift-giving experience to your customers.
Yeah, for sure. So very similar to Peta. We ship everything via express post. I guess as a chocolate business, people who order online, they're really keen to get their chocolates or get their gifts to other people. So, yeah, we make sure we dispatch everything within 1 to 2 business days. Otherwise, that's when the emails start coming through if we don't. Especially during COVID, obviously there were some delays, even via express, due to the high volumes of orders obviously going through AusPost. And so for us, one of the challenges is that, sometimes there are delays. And so we set a buffer for during the peak busy season. So seasons such as Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter and Christmas, we would put a cutoff on our website and make sure all the orders are received 1 week prior. And so it's kind of like a little contingency plan. If anything went wrong, it would give us an opportunity to rectify any mishaps that may happen, and also hopefully get the chocolates to the customer before the special occasion. Making this call was a difficult choice, just because I know a lot of people are last-minute gift givers, and 1 week out is to a lot of people a long time. But saying that, we stand by this because customer retention to us is much more important than the potential handful of sales that we can make from last-minute buyers.
Yeah, I can appreciate receiving chocolates the day after your birthday probably loses some of its impact.
That's right, that's right.
Okay. Silvio, if I may turn to you, please, sir. Before we launch in a discussion and ask our viewers to ask some questions on some of your tactical elements of delivery, can you tell us a little bit more about your number one recommendation? That's removing signature. I know you spoke about it earlier and the reasons behind it and the data behind it. Can you tell us a little bit more about where we've seen this implemented and the results of some of our retailers?
Yeah, in addition to the analysis we did on the customers that have dropped signature, we've been engaging with lots of retailers around dropping signature and assessing the impact of that. A couple of key things that I'll notice. I can mention one customer that has given me the okay to talk to their experience. I know Anthony and Guy Napper at Oz Hair and Beauty, we were speaking with them based on this analysis and convinced them to drop signature. They were about 100% signature on delivery for all of their products, and they dropped it down to about 1.5%. And what they saw was a tremendous improvement in the delivery experience. They went to about 22% carding, or 77% first-time delivery, and that dropped down to about 5% of their deliveries being carded. So that's quite a significant drop just based off that one, action. their NPS improved by about 5 points, and we saw a lot fewer calls to our contact centre. So we saw actually a decline in their lost in transit as a consequence. So that's one example, but we've had many of them where we have been engaging on those insights, and this is part of the reason behind the report. There's only so few of us, and there's so many retailers that we'd like to get our message out. It's really difficult to do that one-on-one. So we're putting these recommendations in the report and backing it by the data that we have. The other thing that I'll touch on as well is some of the retailers, when we engage with them, are a little bit reluctant to drop signature because of this perceived security blanket or the security attached to signature. I remember we spoke with Doron, he's the managing director at KG Group, and he expressed to me, he's like, he kind of said, it took your account manager about a week to convince us to drop signature, because they're largely in consumer electronics, and very difficult to drop signature in that kind of field. And we wouldn't suggest dropping it for everything. Maybe just look at low value items and starting there. But he had a go at it, and actually has been after the switch has seen the benefits, and actually is a convert. So you'll see his story in the report as well. And I remember catching up with him afterwards, and he was reflecting on the time of how long it took us to convince him to do it because of the reluctance. But he's seen the benefits for himself.
Okay, thanks, Silvio. Peter, I can ask you a different question around waste and sustainability, which has become a really important issue in the community. Because why is it important for your business to use sustainable packaging, and how do you source things like biodegradable bubble wrap for your business?
Well, we like everything to be as eco-friendly as possible, considering we deal in rocks and we deal in energy. So we like to make sure that we don't leave behind too much of a footprint in running an online business. So we choose eco for everything. Like our sticky tape is eco-friendly and actually completely biodegradable. And we also have our bubble wrap, which is made of 15% recycled materials and is completely biodegradable as well. The good thing about them is that we actually source it from another Australian business called Snelson. It's called EnviroBubble. We're unable to use some of the paper-based protective stuff because of the weight of the stones. It doesn't protect it. So making sure that we use environmentally friendly packaging that still protects our product is like our number one thing. So all of our boxes, tissue paper, everything that we use is either completely recycled, recyclable, and biodegradable.
Fantastic. On a similar subject, Rebecca, sending delicate items like chocolates can be challenging. Can you tell us about the process of finding the right packaging to avoid breakage and keep your products protected?
Yeah, absolutely. So with chocolates, obviously the two main considerations are temperature and fragility. And actually there's many parallels to the pharmaceutical industry, whereby time and temperature are even more important as they impact people's health. So with this mindset, and also, considering the impacts on people's mental health as well, chocolates are kind of like a medicine in that they cheer people up. So it's definitely very important that the chocolates that we do send out of our kitchen, they go to the customer in the exact same state. So the science nerd in me, I conducted a few experiments of my own. I used many wireless probes, different packaging, so thermal packaging, ice packs, and conducted it under different weather conditions. And so, yeah, after doing those, I found that, like Peter, that, the best way was to use different things like wood wool, crepe paper, tissue paper, just to make it sturdy within the box. And also on those hot weather days, and if we're sending parcels to Queensland, for example, we make sure we use thermal packaging and ice packs, little ice packs. And yeah, by doing that, it makes we make sure that the chocolate arrives as it should in solid state on the receiver's end.
Great. Thank you, Rebecca. Before we go to our audience question, just a last question for all our panels. And as we know, as more people become more comfortable with shopping online, their expectation around timely and accurate information and updates is increasing from initial order all the way through to final delivery. So I'm interested to know if this has changed your business as your business has grown. Let's start with you, Rebecca.
I'm sorry, Nick. My phone just buzzed. Would you be able to repeat that? I'm sorry.
That's okay. Has your business changed in terms of the way you communicate with your customers around the delivery process and updates?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, when people order, they expect their chocolates as soon as possible. And so in order to facilitate that, we encourage our customers to enter their details in at the checkout in order to receive their tracking updates. And so I guess it's kind of like a peace of mind thing where people know that their chocolates are coming. Also, especially during our special occasions, and if people are sending chocolates as gifts to family and friends all over Australia, they want to know that their package is going to arrive on time. So yeah, definitely, recommend ensuring that customers enter their personal details for tracking purposes.
Not a problem. And Peta, what are your thoughts?
Our customers receive just the usual email updates. So same thing, they put their contacts in during checkout. And the way that we've got our API, which is the connection software between our website and AusPost's eParcel, is that if they enter a phone number, that goes across to eParcel. If they've got their email address there, that also goes across. And then that way they can track it through their MyPost app. And we also have it set up on our website. So when they log into their account, they can see the fulfillment status of any of their orders, and also their tracking details there with direct links. So we try and keep that as open as possible. Obviously, if someone's contacting us saying, hey, I don't know where my stuff is, we look into it ourselves straight away through our own portal or even by contacting AusPost. But we don't really get that. Like, you guys have been absolutely amazing, even with all the extra stress you guys have been under, and our delivery rate is right up there. So we don't really get...
Thank you, Peta. I'll make sure I pass on those compliments to our drivers and delivery people. We now turn to some of the questions that we have online. Please, if you have any more questions, please submit them online. I'll start a question with Silvia from Prash. This question is, can you expand on quality label and printing, why that is important?
So when we talk about quality labeling printing, it's really some of the basics around ensuring that the label is legible, that the font and the barcodes are sharp and there's no smudging. Also, that the label is placed on an area of the package that, or if you're putting it on a box that isn't over the seams of the box, it's on a flat surface. The machines that we have are reading those labels at a distance and at high speeds. So if there's any of the smudging or if there's a crease in the label for whatever reason, or that it hasn't been put on flat, they're all reasons that cause the parcel to just loop around and we have to pull it off and manually intervene, and that creates delays in the network. So I think it's ensuring that the printing doesn't enable that kind of smudging. It doesn't happen that often, I'd say, but it is one of the ways that online retailers can help us reduce delays. And we do see it's in particular pertinent for express post deliveries, I'd say, because the delay is significant. You know, if someone has ordered something and they want it express, and you know it adds an extra day to that processing time, then that's quite a big hit on their expectation as to what express deliveries will look like.
If I can just add, one of the things we've noticed also, Silvio, is if a customer's ever reusing packaging to make sure that old labels are off, because we've seen cases where there are two labels and their systems get confused. Sometimes they read one or the other. It could go around circles around the country, and that's not a good experience. And as Silvio said, our machines, some of our facilities will sort and scan up to 300,000 parcels a day. So it really is important. It's amazing how many customers we found did have little things like that, just help the delivery experience so much. So thank you for the question, Praj. So I have a question for you, Peter. The question more specific around your packaging, Peter. Where do you get your boxes from, your packaging boxes?
Oh, we just use white boxes. So we just use white cardboard boxes. We get them from a company called Big Red Packaging. We found they're Australian, and we find that they give us what we need when we need it, and they're well priced. But they also have the Enviro Bubble available through them and a few other options as well, including the recycled tissue paper and things like that. So if that's the way you're going and you just want to make sure everything's recyclable, then hit up Big Red Packaging and go from there.
Okay, Peter, well, I've got you there. There's another question around how much time and effort do you put into acquiring new customers versus putting effort on retaining your existing customers?
I don't think we actively go out looking for new customers. We just have always just done what we do, and it's just the way it is. So about half of our customers are returning customers, so I think it's about 54%, and the rest of them are new. So we're just very consistent in everything that we do, because we figured if we can keep our returning customers, then why can't we convert the new ones too?
Okay. Question for you, Rebecca. Good question. And this wasn't asked by me or anybody heard from Post, but why did you choose Australia Post for delivery and not some other provider? Yes.
Okay, so why did I choose Australia Post? So obviously Australia Post is a very established business. Everyone knows it. I think their procedures are very well set out. They've got obviously their protocols in place. I think my first contact with Australia Post at my local, Australia Post in Winston Hills, they were very pivotal in making sure that I was well looked after. The staff there have a genuine interest in my small business, and they really went out of their way to help me, even though I was just starting out. And I have a genuine relationship with them. Anything that I need, I'll just ask them. And some of the ladies there have been working for Australia Post for over 20 years. So they obviously know their stuff and very loyal to Australia Post as well. And so for me as a consumer, that's very encouraging to see. And I think also back to the established protocols, if anything does go wrong, obviously you can ring up and get the help that you need, which is, phone service is obviously very important, and timely service as well. They're probably my main reasons.
Thank you, Rebecca. Sylvia, a couple of quick ones for you. The first one is, can you please define NPS?
Yeah, sure. So we measure delivery net promoter score. So this is a survey that we send out to customers to understand what's working and what may be not working about the delivery experience. And they provide us with a score from 1 to 10 on how likely they are to advocate for our services. We don't survey everybody on every delivery. They're selected at random. So we do about 400 million B2C deliveries a year, but we probably only survey about 3 million deliveries as it pertains to that delivery or that experience. So that's how we capture those results.
Okay. A couple of questions around the signature issue, Silvio. Paul from the nail shop and Janice, from Catch. Two questions. One is, how do you combat the risk of theft without signature? And the other question is, how do you define low value?
Well, I'll start with the low value one. That is a very difficult one to start. It is a matter of personal preference around what low value is. When we think about low value, we're talking about, say, consumer electronics versus, say, an item that isn't in the bracket of a few $100s. Also, wine is something that we can't drop signature on. So there's a few categories that this doesn't work for, but in other categories it certainly works for. I think it comes down to whether you would think that someone would want a signature attached to that delivery or not. And if you're unsure, it is good to try and have a go at dropping signature and seeing what impact it does have. Because the data does tend to tell us that there's hardly any impact on the lost in transit or theft, but a huge impact on the customer experience. And the ways that we combat theft, there are a couple of ways that we do that. So the driver does have the discretion around safe drop. So when you have a drop signature and allow authority to leave, the driver still has the discretion around whether it is safe to leave. There are some areas in the country that we just cannot leave. I'm thinking in particular, say, St Kilda East, if you've ever been down there, and the porches or the front doors are about within 1.5 meters of the footpath, and that's not deemed to be a safe place to leave a parcel, so we don't tend to do safe drop there. The other thing that we're doing is we're investing a lot more in our technology and capability. So we're allowing, when the driver does safe drop, we're allowing more of the drivers through our new scanners to take a photo of where they've safe dropped it, and that link is then sent to the customer via a secure link, so they know exactly where the parcel has been left. So, we have safe dropped it. Here's a link of the photo of where you can find it. So those are the couple of ways that we combat that opportunity for theft. But as I've said, in the data, whilst it feels like that theft will increase significantly, we're not seeing it in the data.
Okay. A couple of questions around international. How do we help our customers track international orders?
Yeah, that's a really interesting one. We have a lot more visibility when the international order lands here or is on its way out of the country, but not as much visibility on the from the international carrier. I don't have a good answer for you on that one, Nick. The international team is looking at solutions around how we provide more frequent updates for customers, because the visibility there does seem to drop off. You don't get as many updates, and therefore the anxiety does rise. The other one is around when it does land in customs, what kind of updates can we get from our Border Patrol and customs so that we can provide our customers with more frequent updates.
Okay. If I turn to you, Rebecca, repeat customers are important. What do you think is the single most important thing that you do to keep your customers coming back?
I think a few things. I don't think I have a single thing, so I'll just run through a few things. First of all, when people order from us, we include a little note, so it has that small business touch in it. And it also lets them know how much we appreciate their business, because obviously as a small business, every customer is very important. And hopefully through reading that little note, they can feel the love, the handmade love from us. Other things that we try to encourage our customers to do is something Peter mentioned, like subscribing to like a newsletter. We don't spam, but we just send out maybe 4 or 5 emails like throughout the year. And that just helps us to keep in contact with them. And other obvious things, obviously, like social media as well. We encourage them to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, I think those are the main ways. I think also if anything does happen, like if any complaints or if something accidentally gets damaged or something like that, going like providing, going beyond what they expect. So providing a refund and a product replacement. Often people are very appreciative of that because a lot of people, they might not get a reply till like a week later, but because it's a small business, you can obviously manage those things. And if that does arrive, I can think of a lot of my repeat customers, they might have had a bad experience before, but because you handle it well, they'll keep coming back. And yeah, they do appreciate that small business touch.
Okay. Question for you, Peta. What has been the most successful action or initiatives you have taken that has helped build loyalty with your customers?
That's a hard one because we've done a few things. So I think loyalty with our customers, one of the biggest things actually came from when the bushfires happened. We all came to work that day and we're just like, we can't sit around and do this. So I scrambled around, got some permits to do some donation collections as well. And then Shaz and I just literally got our credit cards and went out and we bought a whole heap of stuff and sent it all down south with a company here. And we just showed everyone what we were doing. And we're like, here, you can donate straight to them through us. And we're very, very open about the whole thing. And, and they all felt like they could be a part of helping. So I think our community and the things that we do based on like showing them like how we do stuff behind the scenes, who we are, like we're just a couple of mums with some small kids and a big shed. So we say to that, and I think our customers are loyal to us because we connect with them on a personal level and we're very committed to our community, whether it's online or just around us in Australia as well.
Okay. And I guess a final question to you, Silvio. There's been a number of questions around this report. Can you just confirm when it's going to be released and what do people should expect to see in it?
Well, the report comes out on Monday and it will cover those 5 recommendations that I covered, and it will have around those recommendations, it will provide data that supports the argument around those recommendations. We're not providing insight for the sake of insight. It's not something my team is very keen on. Anyone that knows me well knows that I don't like that word. Actually, we provide information for the basis of taking action, and these are the 5 areas that we have been speaking with retailers about based on the insights so that they can take action, and they're the insights and actions that we've seen that have yielded results for our retailers, and they're the ones that we're passing on. So that's what they can expect in the report. And also it will provide in the recommendations what Australia Post is doing and some simple things that they can do. And when I mention things like API integrations or widgets or, promoting the apps, there will be links in the report that they can click on, which will give them or take them to the places in our website that will provide them with the assets to do those things.
Fantastic. I know we can keep on going with more questions, but what I really love about what you said, Silvio, is the fact these are practical ideas that we can all impact on the delivery experience. Because, yes, at Australian Post, we've got a role to play, but our customers and merchants equally have got an important role to play. So by working together and looking at these ideas and these strategies, we can both achieve what we want from you. You want the best delivery experience from your customers, and from our side, it's to do it in the quickest, most efficient way. So I think it is a win-win for both. So I can certainly have a look at this report, reach out to your account manager and discuss how you can able to implement some of these ideas. So I really, really encourage you to do that. We're going to close up. I just want to thank our speakers. Silvio, always a pleasure to have you. Rebecca, thank you very much. I have to try your chocolates. And Peta, I haven't had a chance, but I'm really going to order a crystal because just so we can have some good luck in Victoria with no more lockdowns.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Silvio. Listeners, viewers, the next webinar in our webinar series, it will be on the 26th of August. Again, it'll be customers, it'll be insights to help your business succeed online. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day and keep our fingers crossed for all the Victorians and Melburnians.